These are a bunch of rocks from Sunset Beach in Cape May, New Jersey, and I am hoping that some of them are what's called Cape May diamonds, which are really just pieces of quartz, but according to a little display in the visitor center there, if you put them in a rock tumbler for a few weeks, they actually come out super clear, kind of like pieces of glass. So I guess maybe the frosted appearance is just on the surface and they're clear on the inside. So there are a bunch of different colors you can find. You can literally go down to this beach and just pick these things up by the fistfuls. Parts of the beach are more rock than sand because of all the stones washing down the Delaware River and into the bay, and then depending on the currents, they all just wind up on this one very specific beach in Cape May. So there are a lot of really cool colors, I guess, if you're into rock collecting or beach rocks. There's some more oranges, and I think even some bluish hues mixed in here. So what I am going to do is toss all of these in my rock tumbler, which I have another video reviewing in terms of how good it is to keep your 4-year-old happy, as something that originally started as a pandemic hobby for me and then we picked up again. So I'm not going to bother filming every single stage this time. There's multiple stages of polish in the rock tumbler. You can go check out the other video if you kind of want to see the results after each stage. Instead, I'm just going to toss this whole batch in, and we're going to see if any of these kind of translucent, whitish, off-white guys come out actually looking clear, or if I don't have any Cape May diamonds in this batch. Alright, so I lied and said I wasn't going to do this in stages, but I did want to check after stage 1, and I can already see, if I can get my camera to focus, some of these actually are becoming kind of transparent or glass-like. Again, so maybe that kind of frosted or more translucent, opaque coating is just the outer surface, and the interior is clear. Some of them are definitely just still an opaque white. So again, I don't know if these are different types of quartz or totally different rocks or whatever, but some of them, again, aren't really see-through at all, but some of them do kind of have the beginnings of that nice kind of clear quality. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera here. So I guess the question is if further tumbling and polishing with the final grit is going to do anything to kind of increase the clarity, or if it's really just removing that initial rough outer surface, and this is as good as it's going to get. So we will find out on to stage 2. So after phase 2 here, showing kind of some of the different grades or cloudiness levels or whatever you want to call it, you can see I have 2 that are definitely have some clear spots where you can sort of see the color of my hand through them, and then the one at the bottom there is sort of cloudy but not really transparent, and then there's some that are just still totally opaque white. So definitely, again, these ones that are now kind of transparent, I think were rough enough on the outer surface that they were not initially transparent if you go back to the beginning of the video. So they have enough kind of cracks or fracture lines in them or something that they're not just totally clear like some of the really nice specimens you can see in the visitor center, but we really only came back with a few kind of big fistfuls of these things, so I think if you go collect a lot, the odds that you'll get some of the nice clear ones actually seem pretty good. Alright, here we are indoors at the end of that whole process, and again, I apologize for discontinuities in narration because I'm doing this weeks apart and kind of forget what I said the last time I was filming. This is somewhere in the middle of stage 4 because my rock tumbler actually broke down, so I have a separate video kind of reviewing that thing more generally, and now maybe I'm going to need a repair video because it certainly didn't break down as quickly as one of the cheaper ones I had before that died almost immediately. This one did last for months of continuous runtime, but it's not just the belt, so I kind of need to dissect that and figure out what went wrong with it. Again, that's going to be a topic for a different video. But again, the final takeaway here is that I really don't think those additional polishing steps were making a huge difference in terms of the transparency of these things. Again, you can see this is kind of the clearest one I got where you can see color change through it when you put something else behind it. For example, when I move my finger there, maybe this little one as well. Whoops, kind of hard to hold. But in terms of removing whatever initial surface roughness they had that was making them opaque and then getting them transparent, that really happened after just phase 1 or 2. And then a lot of the other ones kind of retained this off-white color and did not really become transparent at all. So again, nothing in this batch at least totally glass-like or crystal clear. This is probably the clearest one I got, but again, if you go to that beach, you can literally get these things by the fistful. You could, like, I didn't bring buckets or anything, but you could bring gallons of them home if you wanted. Again, I forget if I said this at the beginning of the video, but I was worried going there with 2 young kids that I was going to be kind of looking for a needle in a haystack, trying to find these in the sand, but they are all over the place. So, and of course, speaking of kids, you can hear them screaming at each other in the background as I am trying to film this. So, with that, I'm going to sign off and go deal with my kids. If you have any tips on finding or polishing these things, please leave a comment below this video. Thank you.